as the business changes, self-tapes. And they represent something really interesting, this movement towards self-taping, which is leveling the playing field.
Yeah.
You don't even have to be in Los Angeles or New York anymore. I mean, you know, the pilot that you just cast not so long ago, tapes coming from South America, from Spain, but you know, you can. It's the world is flat notion that you can get anywhere now.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and you also don't have to be called in for an audition. You can tape it yourself anyway. Yeah. So self-taping has become this big thing. We've been certainly doing it here a long time. Right. And we're going to do a self-tape workshop about that because it's so important that actors really understand what is the most important thing about a self-tape. Now, I used to believe that the technical aspect was one of the most important things, but having done this pilot recently and seeing self-tapes come in, and also on Masters of Sex, we have self-tapes come in a lot from New York and other places. Sometimes the quality is just not quite what you'd like it to be, but the work is so amazing that it goes beyond that. And you know what I've come to learn? Nobody cares. Studio heads, executives, showrunners, directors, creators, nobody cares. They just want to see extraordinary work. And when you can provide that in a self-tape, I mean, it's a home run. So,
and I think some of that comes from just we're all comfortable with lo-fi now. You know, we watch our Facebook feed or Instagram. It's all full of you know, things that were shot on a shaky camera. So we're used to getting past that to find the content. All of that said, I mean, it all starts with doing amazing work, no matter what the platform, but you have to be seen and heard.
Yeah, no, you want to look decent. You want it to be shot in a way where we can see you.
Right.
You know, we don't want you to have a pink bedspread behind you or your mother's tchotchkes in China behind you, because you know, you just want a very simple, clear background. Right. You want to have the sound be decent enough that we can hear you and not be distracted by it. We want to frame it a little bit so that we can see you. I've had people will sometimes self-tape onto their they'll be talking to their iPad, and they'll be with somebody, you know, from home, and they'll be having their computer shooting up at them. And sometimes, if you're having to struggle through the visuals or the audio, it's a problem. But if you can get a fairly decent frame, and you can do great work, then people will watch it.
And what you're speaking to is this notion of not letting anything get in the way of your amazing talent. Yeah. And if you know, you got the fancy bedspread with all sorts of weird patterns as a background, our eyes are pulled away. And in this day and age, with cat videos and whatever else, you know, and we're just so used to our eyes going somewhere else, darting off and clicking on something else. Yeah. And that self-tape may be watched, as you say all the time, on a phone, driving on the 405. Yeah. It better be compelling and great work, and nothing can get in the way of that.
Yeah. And you want to grab somebody right away. The great thing about self-taping also is you can do it a number of times, hopefully not too obsessively, but you can do a number of takes until you find the take that really speaks to you, so you can find some ease in that, and you can grow in that and develop and rehearse and shoot. I've just seen people, when people have a certain amount of ease and comfortability and connectedness and find the connection in that, they've done some pretty amazing work. And often a self-tape will be better than 40 or 50 actors who have come in the room with me. Right. And I have to let my own, you know, ego go a little bit and say, wow, that guy working, because people are just going to watch a group of tapes. It doesn't really matter. Sure. And I've seen some great stuff that people have done too, where they've made little movies, you know, and they've actually tried to do something cinematic, which has been wonderful as well. So I advocate for self-tapes. I think that they're a great tool. There's a great ease and power in them. People are really open to them these days. It seems to be the year of the self-tape. So we're going to do a workshop here at BGB in early February, where we're going to work with actors to learn how to do the best self-tape they can possibly do and show examples of self-tapes that got the job.
Right, we're excited to teach actors, give them the tools both technically and also in their work, because the work is different when you're doing a self-tape. It's just a little bit different. We're excited to teach them all that, so they have those tools, and don't even necessarily have to go, you know, pay someone $80, $100 to take them every time, but that they have that power, which is important.
Yeah, I think you can do it yourself.
Right.
Yeah. So join us for the BGB Self-Tape Workshop.